Oh, just a quick explanation before we start this. This video is taken from a 2 hours 20 minutes, I believe it was, stream we did on Sel Mounta, which is our third game from BWI Games that just released. I have split it into roughly half an hour sections because it's otherwise quite a long thing. It might not make perfect sense if you haven't seen the previous parts, but we're doing effectively a Twitch Plays Pokemon style playthrough of the game, where other people are allowed to do voices, we have people in chat talking, and I was giving everyone a bit of an opportunity to choose how we would fight and how we would do things and build our characters and such. So yes, that's what's going on for those who have joined at, say, part 3 or something. Enjoy the episode. Shell's cracking. Let's pop this bubble. Cheered up quickly. It's going well, though. I'm almost surprised how much so. She's right. Everyone's getting used to the new fighting styles already, it seems. And even though I have to do a lot to keep up with the healing, it feels like I know what I'm doing already. I guess whatever happened to us couldn't take all of our experience as adventurers. Yeah, to explain the plot quickly, adventuring party from the first game gets betrayed by one party member and teleported away to another island without any of their kit, so they're still sort of catching up and all their classes have changed. Punch the jellyfish. Fortunately, yeah, we have to do our defense before we can do the offense, but she's hurt, so it's not bad timing.
So I haven't actually played the first game yet.
That's fine. It is free at this point, yes. It went up free on Steam. It is Sel Quinta. It's not too much of a worry anyway. I think you've got the basics of it really. It is basically, as I said, the party from the first game they've taken a bit of a hit. They've been betrayed and sent away to another island, but they are still alive. They're trying to work out where they are basically at the moment, and this fella has shown up to get in the way. Oh yeah, the actual goal of the party, to explain this while we're fighting. I'll sort of put it on automatic for a little bit. So Seltor, the king who showed up right at the beginning, he's the leader of it. They are known to have been building a navy, a huge navy, and this is not really big spoilers because this is like right at the beginning of the first game you find this out. That seems to be so large that only goal could be like invading the entire rest of the world. And what your party was formed for was to gain the support of the other 4 islands to like launch a combined counterattack basically before you can invade. You do, even though you never get to like see it, you do technically get the support of all the cities on the island you start on before they're teleported away. They still technically finish their last goal. So their quest is still on, technically, even though they again ended up here. It's starting to tire out now. Damn it, I thought that we had this, but I guess my body can't keep up like it used to. Even though I thought we'd already got this thing, it keeps taking hits and still going. Are we nearly there? I'm not feeling so good. Stomach feels like it's going to burst. This can't be good for my wounds. I'm not sure, but I'll cover you as best I can. Come on, break already. I was having fun at first, but now my muscles are starting to burn. This is what the others had to go through when they were fighting hand-to-hand before. Oh yeah, no one's got any weapons either. We're back around for the finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just punching a solid block of ice.
Yes.
Oh, is this the finisher? There we go.
This might be a finishing blow as well. There he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dropped some things.
I found Sel Quinta.
Yeah. It is.
So
Oh, sorry.
Steam excluded it based on the fact that I have essentially blocked all sexual content.
Oh, right.
Is that something I need to be worried about? Or
There's nothing graphic. There's a bit of what would be the best way to put it? Spicy dialogue at one point, but there's nothing actual like visual or anything.
Okay, so this isn't something where my parents are gonna walk in and wonder what the fuck I'm doing.
No, you should be okay.
Okay.
You should be okay. There'll be the odd.
That's why I always. That's why
it's like
I've
spicy
just like
moment, but
never gotten into watching anime because I'm just too scared. Someone will walk in and they'll be doing some weird stuff. I'm just like, I'm thinking,
yeah,
if anything, just Pokemon.
This game has a bit of that as well, but the main bit is not till way later. We're a long ways off that.
Oh.
We have leveled.
I mean, it's an RPG Maker game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have leveled up. Yes, so the other thing to note, there's no XP from killing enemies, it's milestone. When you finish an area, that's when your party levels up.
Okay.
So we've learned First Aid and Antitoxin for Samson. Catelyn has learned Wide Guard and Counter. Vhagal has learned Rally and Strike Through. Rayleigh has learned Follow Up and Bat Away. Hetty has learned Lighten and Halt. And Renee has learned Scatter Blaster and Flow.
Okay, wait, so, does this have parts where my parents could walk in and wonder what the fuck I'm doing?
This one?
Yeah.
No, not until, again,
Okay.
way near the end. I can always give a bit of warning on that one if needed. But I might do future streams of some more of this game, because I am enjoying doing this one if everyone else is vaguely interested. But I've only got so much time to do it for today. One last furious
Honestly, this was a ton
blow.
of fun.
The giant creature shatters into thousands of pieces, its frozen tentacles spearing into the ground like fallen swords. The frozen beast is defeated. Oh, thank the gods, it's finally dead. Indeed. Ugh. Good work, everyone. My word, I'm exhausted. I know, right? I wasn't the greatest before, but my stamina's definitely gotten worse. You okay over there, Catelyn? You must have put a lot of stress on your wounds. Not bleeding or anything? It's hurting, but I don't think I've done any damage. What about you two? I'm fine. I don't really like fighting, but it doesn't feel like much has changed, at least. I thought it was, but now everything hurts. You probably pulled something. Even if you know how to fight in melee now, and even if our bodies have changed a bit, we're not really in the right shape to push as hard as you did in that last fight just yet. I'd be mad at that if I didn't have to admit that I think you're right. How long did it take to train like you used to, Hetty? Probably about the same time it took you to train to cast spells like you used to be able to. Plus maybe 5 to 10 years. I'm not sure how old you are, but I assume I'm older. Ugh. Means I've really fallen far. So, Vhagal did put a lot of store behind her strength because she was a quite potent mage and has lost all of her magic. So obviously a bit of a thing. Falling like some common thug and I can't even keep up yet. Useless. Still, we were successful ultimately. Even if we've clearly been knocked back, we could recover our strength in the same way we grew it before. And we know where to go now. Right, she's right. I shouldn't let this get to me. It's too much for me to do for a setback like this to get in my way. That's our boss. Been lost on a new island for 2 hours and she's already worked out where we are. Indeed, and it's not too far to the capital, thankfully. We've still got to get the aid of this island, so let us head out and speak to the leadership. So, more walking? Ugh. Don't worry, my dear, I'll carry you for a bit. Might as well put my newfound strength to work, and you could do with a rest. As I could do with a cuddle after all we've been through. My hero. That sounds great, I'll take you off on that offer, thank you. Chapter cleared. We shall save. We are through Tutorial Hill.
Oh, that was a little miniature map. I was wondering.
Yes, little world map. We're at the capital.
Dwarves.
Dwarves. There's a little detail they added. The ones on the wall will actually watch you as you go past.
Nice.
Oh, wait, is that a loot box?
There's a little box there. I've forgotten about that. And a little bit more gold.
They have walls. Why don't they just like put the box in the walls?
I don't know.
Beats the whole
There's clearly someone left it outside.
Yeah.
Well,
Spell.
making a box be part of a wall is a big structural flaw.
Oh, just embed it into the wall, yeah. Yeah, fake. Yeah, what was it they sometimes used to do? Fake brick? You have like a brick in a wall that could like slide out?
Oh,
Yeah, there's a reason you don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Alright,
I mean,
travellers.
there's only one brick.
Yeah, you might be okay. You'd probably design it around it, but... Alright, travellers.
Yeah.
Can I read?
Halt and wait for... Oh, you're going to read it? Oh, we've got our
Yes.
first voice. Yeah, go ahead. You can be the dwarves. There's 2 of them.
Will practice my dwarf.
Yeah.
Alright, travelers, halt and wait for inspect. Humans and wait. Demon?
2 guards immediately level spears towards the party, so the party look on in confusion. What? Guards, please, I beg, stay your arms. I'm the herald of the King of Sel Quinta, Hetty Banson. I mean you no harm, nor your city.
Herald of the King? A likely story. You were in collusion with the demons. Why would anyone of their number be traveling with you?
Oh boy, I hadn't even thought of this. The people from Sel Quinta are even batted an eye at me beyond the usual. But this is where demons are most active, and probably causing the most problems. Rayleigh is a proven member of my team, who has been with us for several months without a single incident. Has even saved our lives multiple times. Whatever issues you have with the demon, she's not part of them. As for being the herald, I do not say that without proof. Check my royal seal, you will find it authentic. He withdraws a scroll encased in sculpted silver from our pack, handing it towards the spears of the guards.
It's obviously fake. You cannot trick us, so... Look, lad, I know you're eager, and I know this is suspect, but on the slim chance it is real, we have to check. A king's herald turned away after the trip to reach here would be less than good for inter-island relations. Grandpa, we can't... Alright, hand it over quickly, lass.
The younger of the two dwarves irritably snatches the scroll away from Hetty, unsealing it.
Let's see here. The calligraphy is good, says all the right things, no errors in the text spelling, and the mark. If it's fake, it is a remarkably good one, and the craftsmanship on the scroll's case is good too. What? No, it's fake. This is just some elaborate demon trick to prevent us keeping them out. Let's just spare the lot of them. Sorry to say it, lad, but I can't see a thing wrong with it. This really does seem to be the real thing, and they don't look charmed either. They're too alert looking. No, they're the real deal, apparently. Look, Hetty, right? You're clearly all new to the island. Maybe you're in luck on Sel Quinta, that you can trust demons, but we've suffered repeated attacks from them as late. So here's what we'll do. You can enter and seek audience with our king, and you can bring your demonic friend with you, but we'll be keeping an eye on you, and you'll only be allowed into a few areas of the city.
Alright. My apologies, Raylia, but this may be all I can do. Keep an eye on yourself while we're inside. Of course, darling. I appreciate it. It's just... this is something I haven't had to deal with for a while, and the memories aren't good. Have some whispers to Raylia. We've got your back if it turns to a fight, whatever that counts for in our current state. It's weird to say, but I guess we're looking after you this time. I hope it doesn't come to a fight. We don't even have weapons at the moment. No? 2 strong warriors personally protecting me? I feel better already. Thank you too, it does mean a lot to me, but for now I think our best bet is just keeping quiet. We can now... oh, there's a little bit of extra.
Pass through and cause no trouble. Be keeping an eye on you all.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there, say again.
Do those little pillars have words on them just like the other one did?
These ones do not. Some do, but they'll be marked if they do.
I had no clue where I was going with the accent. It was like just a bunch of different ones thrown into one.
Apparently they're not marked. I need to note that.
It's a fantasy world.
Yeah.
You can do a pretty good dwarf accent by just doing a Scottish one.
I was gonna say it's good.
I tried, but
it was a good accent. We've got the Dwarven King to talk to in a minute, so we'll have a bit of dialogue for him. It's a stone column. Hundreds of businesses and their addresses in the city have been neatly chiseled into its surface. Seems it's a strange form of advertising.
Dwarven capitalists.
Yeah. Where to? We've got a few directions we can go here. This city area is actually quite large.
Something glowing to our left and right. Can we talk with the residents?
Yes. There's one hiding behind the lamppost here, but...
humans? Here? Ah, you must have captured that demon. Good work. We don't have humans around here, but much if you're already helping the cause, then we won't have any issues.
Yeah, we captured her. Out of curiosity, what do you guys normally do with captured demons?
I'm not sure in honesty. Bind them, I suppose. Oh, I suppose you don't have anything to do that with, or you'd already have done it. And then bring them to an Inquisitor? I guess? We don't usually get that far.
We'll do it again.
Why are you talking to me? Go turn in that demon.
What do you think, Green Wisp?
That's dialogue, right?
Yes.
And sure.
Green Wisps represent choices that can be made. Depending on what you choose, you'll gain additional dialogue and potentially stat boosts, or perhaps even rare items or pieces of equipment.
Ooh.
Yes, the Green Wisps, they're normally a conversation between, it would be like a party member talking to a choice of any of the others. But this early one is slightly different. It seems we've had quite the welcome. I can't imagine most of the townsfolk are going to be happy to see us either. I wish I knew what had happened here. Last time I was here years back, there was no war. Demons only really used to inhabit a few areas of the island's surface and barely built anything. It will probably meet the other demons at some point. Is there anything we'll need to look out for? I mean, you know them best, right? What do we think? What's the most dangerous thing about the demons?
Knowing absolutely nothing about the lore behind this franchise, I'm gonna go with their cunning.
Hold up, let me pull out a Bible and I'll find out.
I think cunning is what the Bible would say, probably, right? Like,
Cunning,
Probably.
charm,
Yeah.
they've got a lot of strong aspects, but their cunning is the strongest. They like to pull whatever tricks they can to get ahead. Throwing dust in your eyes mid-fight, stabbing you in the back, disguises, sounds not too far from the average
The
bandit.
demons have pocket sand, that's what you're saying.
Pocket sand.
Yes.
You're not so wrong there. It's fair to say most perhaps do rely too heavily on these tricks. Most demons don't really know any technique with their weapons, at least not to anything like the degree you used to. It's fair to say as well that my own kind are probably most likely to try to employ cunning. Unless it's someone I can vouch for, especially don't trust other succubi. The lies they can pull are impressive, if nothing else. The party would later train, both employing every trick they can think of mid-fight, and in thinking of ways to evade them. All members gain +5 defense and magic defense, and that's a permanent buff.
That's helpful.
And as said, the green encounters will always have something different. But yes, we can go up, or we can go left or right here.
Left is always right.
Left it is. Hello, good sir. Oh, fellow humans. If I see another face, I'd have to crick my neck to look at. Oh, you've got a demon with your group? That has to be rough on a land like this. Mind you, I saw some fighting the guards on the way in, so I'm not surprised that they're in a bad mood with them. Me? Oh, Salona is my home. I'm here researching weather. Yes, Salona is a different island from this one. We don't really get much beyond sun back home, so I'm travelling to record the patterns of cloud, etc. from the other islands. Still, I put on every layer of clothing I had, and I still feel so cold. Is snow always like this? I'm not sure I like it, but for meteorological science, I must persevere.
That's how I felt when going up to Utah. Like down where I live, it's just stupidly hot. Like right now, it's like 100 degrees. Going up there, snowed overnight, it was in the negatives.
Say, Salona is a desert.
What is 100 Fahrenheit to Celsius?
Is that like 30?
38, 39 C.
Oh, blimey. That's a lot. Yeah, that's hotter than it pretty much ever gets here, so...
Human body temperature is 37 C, so
Yeah.
yeah.
What do we think?
Yeah, 100 Fahrenheit is human body temperature.
Was. Yeah,
we go
Fahrenheit's even more screwed up than you'd expect.
Does it change?
Who knows?
Like the official is like 98.7 or something.
Yeah,
Like,
that's about
like
it.
when it was originally invented, it was 100 Fahrenheit was body temperature, but then that was 300 years
They
ago.
refined it a
So
bit since.
measurements have improved.
So
I actually needed to learn what original Fahrenheit was based on. It was the hottest temperature that can be expected in Amsterdam.
Oh, okay. I see. Interesting measure.
That's actually pretty impressive for Amsterdam.
So the library.
In all fairness, if anyone here is struggling to learn Fahrenheit, do not worry. I believe the Mecca Americans, I don't even get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Celsius
I
over here,
always
so we're all good.
I had to use
Yeah.
Celsius all throughout science classes. So I mean,
Yeah, here we have
Makes sense.
65, and it is hot for us.
ooh,
Yeah, I was gonna
jeez.
say. So this area, which is the library, is mostly a little bit extra info on stuff. I won't make us read all of it because there's a lot. But it's stuff like
Let's just choose one, yeah.
a book on the classes. Yeah, we could pick one. I think these bottom ones are lore, and the top ones are like sort of info on combat and classes and things.
Mm.
So feel free to pick a book.
Alright, one to our left.
On the left. Okay. It's a book titled Weaponry of the World. Seems to be on various types of weapons, perhaps unsurprisingly. Read it. We shall. If you're going to fight, you'll want a weapon. This is no surprise to anyone. Even the monks of this world that train their own hands into deadly weapons still know that they wouldn't stand a chance against many monsters without something to augment their blows. This book is intended to give a bit of a guide to how weaponry works and hopefully give you an idea of what type of weapon you might want to wield. However, before this, a note on the type of damage that weapons tend to deal. Physical weapons will, usually, deal one of 3 main damage types: piercing, slashing, or crushing. Piercing tends to be best against hardened foes, punching holes through their vitals, but weak against foes that don't have much of an anatomy, like undead. Slashing, meanwhile, is good on fleshy foes or foes that have many limbs, such as plant-based foes. Lastly, crushing tends to be best against the sort of foe piercing is weak against, smashing rocky hides or plate mail. Some weapons have other elements too, but those are beyond the scope of this book and much harder to generally summarise. So this basically goes, there are quite a lot of weapon types. This basically goes over a little bit what you should expect from them. So daggers, smallest and lightest. They don't have much power, but they land quickly. I'll summarise these because there's a lot. Swords are very standard. They usually land a couple of hits. They're not too fancy, but they're reliable. Hammers are usually heavy. They slow you down, but they hit very hard for crushing. Axes are kind of the slashing equivalent of a hammer. Scythes are effectively critical hit weapons, and they can sometimes cause instant death with the fancier ones.
The farmer's weapon.
Staffs are used for mages. They usually increase magical ability, and some staffs will make extra spells available. And you can smack things with them if you need to.
Yep. Hey, this little stick.
Yeah. Bows. Category also includes crossbows. An older style of ranged weapon, going out of fashion somewhat, though still in common use due to cheap ammo. They're usually accuracy boosting, and they have piercing damage.
Wait, so when is this game? When does this game take place? Like,
it is
what
a fancy
is the technological state?
universe, but as you can see, the dwarves especially are starting to introduce firearms, kind of thing, of varying levels. But they're kind of a bit varied in how well they're trusted, and also because ammunition's expensive in universe, they're not the most commonly used.
Wait, so is the firearms they're using like muskets, or is this
Low tier stuff
Probably.
is, but we're going a little bit Final Fantasy, so there is some fancy stuff at the high end. Although
Although
it
just
could,
pulls out like a desert eagle. That'd be.
so guns are
There you go.
normally land lots of hits for
denied
piercing.
damage?
Curved swords. Curved swords are usually based around counterattacks or other weird effects. Spears grant extra
There you
defense.
go.
Claws land lots of hits, but because they're meant to be paired, you can't dual wield them, but you can hold another weapon in the other hand.
Oh.
So, and there's,
That's a good amount of variety there.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's also someone we can talk to, who's another dwarf.
The librarian. Yep.
I don't know if it's alright. Whatever. Oh ho! What's this? Humans come to plunder the depths of dwarven knowledge. Well, I'll have you know that you are most welcome. This is a public library, after all. We ask that books not be taken out of the city, but you are welcome. Take them home with you if you live or staying here and wish to.
That was not the voice I expected, but we'll take it.
No.
Old man. Old man library dwarf.
Oh, I couldn't tell if it was an old man or not, so I was just like, you know what, just
that's fair.
librarian with strange accent.
Another dwarf.
Oh, human.
It sounds like my neighbor.
Oh dear. I see. Yes, sorry.
Sorry, I do not have anything to trade at the moment. I have just returned from Sel Kareen on an extended trade trip. Ken?
Yes. Ken. Like, do you know the thing with like the pile of stones they used to like put beside paths and things?
No.
Oh, it's I think it's a Scottish thing technically, but yeah, it's pronounced like that anyway.
I'll just call it Karen.
Yeah.
On the extended trade trip, they're impossible. Won't take a dang thing, even at a good price. Gosh, I can't do that.
We wore him out.
Something about local trade laws. And then when I get back to my home, I found out we're under attack from demons. Whole island's gone mad, I tell you. Say, lass. Yes, with the horns. You're, not with the attacking demons, are you? No. Phew. Sel Karen. Oh, fascinating place. It's an island of undead. Sane undead. It's a bit scary, though. Most of them have at least particularly rotted. I cannot overstate how off-putting it is talking to someone with only half a face.
Yes, so this is... I think there is a little book on the lore of it in the library. So, Sel Quinta is, like, cursed, basically. If you die there, you just get back up oh, dear. You get back up again after about a day, but it doesn't protect you from rotting.
Oh,
So
is that a permanent effect?
It's like a permanent thing across the whole island, and if you try to leave, your soul gets sucked away and you die if you've died on the island. It isn't
Wait,
somewhere...
so how does the afterlife work in this universe?
We will actually get to that. That is actually something that gets brought up later in the plot.
It's actually a plot point. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm genuinely just getting stupidly invested. Humans here? Oh, a rare sight, and a demon too, of all things. No, I don't mind. We've always been enemies. The demons never held much territory and used to be happy with their lava fields to the east, but they trade occasionally and seemed mostly alright. Sort. I wish I knew what had happened to make them start to attack us like this. The shop? Oh, it's my son's. The gear here is sturdy. Since you seem to be traveling light, to pay a visit.
This is going to be a big one. This is the equipment shop, or one of them anyway. Ooh, this looks pretty good. I think we'll be able to get re-equipped here fairly easily. Finally, we've caught a break. Yeah, right, of course, you've never shopped for this sort of weaponry before, have you, dear? No, I haven't. I'm not really sure where to start. She's not the only one. I think I'm supposed to be wearing heavy armor now, but I couldn't even lift it back on Sel Quinta. I only really know what I'm doing with the light stuff. Seems I'll have to give you two a hand in getting equipped. I do have some experience in that area after all. Alright. I suppose these weapons do look fairly fearsome. Cannot imagine they match my old magic for power, but they'd be better than my fists, I'm sure. You can check what gear your party members are actually able to equip by going to the status menu and checking the access tab for each character. Yes, so the classes do come with restrictions, but certain gear you can get later on will actually lift those restrictions. So... Oh, wrong button. Oh yeah, also each character has some small buffs of their own. They are really only small, but do get a few small bonuses. And the most important one, which I'll bring up now, is Raelia's, because if you notice her one for race on the right, she has natural fire immunity. It's built in. She doesn't take any damage from it. But for the actual equipment, I could probably remember it, but I'll find the actual tab. Oh, I pressed the right button. So, Samson has access to generally lighter to medium stuff. Catelyn has access all the way up to heavy armor and a handful of weapons.
Will that affect your speed if you wear heavier armor?
Yes, some of the heaviest armor has agility debuffs on it. Or negatives even. Vhagal is most limited for the lightest gear. For physical gear. Raelia has a very limited weapon set, but has a bit wider armor. Hetty, it goes off the bottom. She can equip anything, basically, to summarize.
Equipment, yes.
Yes, and Renee has the smallest set overall. She's fully limited to magic gear, which isn't sold here. That's in another shop. Although she can bring normal accessories. We have... I can't see it because there's something on my desk in the way of my screen.
1580.
Yes, we have a bit. We're not broke, but we don't have a lot. Let's go talk to the shopkeep, I think. Start with at least.
Aye, we've got plenty of equipment for sale. You adventurers by the locks of Ya, so I assume it's weapon and armor you'll be wanting. Take a look.
There we go. So, there's 2 of each weapon type. Daggers, swords, hammers, axes, scythes, bows, guns. So,
Thankfully, the prices aren't outrageous.
yes. Some are more expensive. Guns tend to be more. Daggers and claws sometimes cheaper. And then we have...
Understandably.
You have a couple of options for light, medium, and heavy gear for both head and body armor. Yeah, that's the one the crawler could have dropped. It's the stone tower shield.
I think at the moment we want to
And a few
increase
bonus
our
items.
attack because we have been fairly
Yes,
tanky for all things considered.
I'd recommend equipping everyone with a weapon over armor, definitely. Vhagal can actually equip 2. She dual wields, but she can't use a shield. So what do we think for everybody?
Okay. What classes can it dual wield?
Just her by default, but there are accessories you can get later on that unlock it for everybody.
Oh, I meant of like which weapons, like which
Oh.
weapon types.
She has daggers, swords, hammers, axes. Yep. You can, if you see the thing over here. Whoop, that was the wrong thing. Sorry, the wire on my mouse got caught on something. If you see over here, it shows if it's like grayed out like this, they can't equip it. So yeah, hammers, axes, not scythes, not bows, not guns, not spears, and claws.
I think we should buy a gun for one. I know it's a bit more expensive, but it might be a good investment for which characters?
So there's two that can use guns.
That can.
So the two guns, the Derringer, because it comes out of nowhere, because it's tiny, it has a chance to confuse on a hit. The single action launches 6 attacks, but it's not very accurate. Usually the negative effects of weaponry gets less bad the further through you go, and the positive effects get stronger.
Top.
Yeah, this bar at the top.
Piercing damage.
Yes, guns are nearly all piercing. Alright, it might be a little bit abrupt, but that's where I'm calling the episode for now. I said this one will be split into multiple parts. Next one should either be up tomorrow, or if it's the last part, which I believe will be part 5 out of this first group, it'll be in probably roughly around a week's time. I will be running more of these streams, so if you want to come along, come join the Discord and just ask about it. That's all you'll need to do, and you'll just have to show up at the right time. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.